What's up YouTube, Anthony Olan here, and today I'm doing a comparison of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Now this is not one of those typical comparisons about which one has better performance and something like that. It's more so about different features that each of these consoles offer on top of the gaming features as well. And these consoles both have their pros and their cons with each of these categories that I will talk about. So it's not about this one is better than that one's better than this one. No, we all know Switch is the best one. Just kidding. So this is more so of like what these things offer in features. I have not seen any video talk about these features, and I want to bring these up to you guys because despite being released about 2 years ago, there are still people out there who are having trouble getting at least the PlayStation. The Xbox has been more available so far. I just got my PlayStation about a week ago. So I can now talk about these things that I learned within this week of using it. Now the first category I want to talk about is gameplay captures. This is very important to me because I do upload a lot of content from video games to my Instagram channel, Anthony Olan Tech, check it out. And I put like screenshots and gameplay. Now with the screenshot option, you can just press the capture button on the Xbox controller and it'll capture it as a screenshot, and then you hold it to I think record the last 30 seconds or however much time you set it up. On the PlayStation side, you press the capture button, it'll pause your PS5 game and you can choose for a screenshot or for your video capture. Now the thing I love about that feature with the PlayStation is depending on what you're trying to take a screenshot of, you don't necessarily have to go into photo mode. And that could potentially be great for a game such as Gran Turismo, which doesn't have a photo mode built in, which is very odd for a game that looks that beautiful, okay? Now, when it comes to gameplay capture, here's where the big differences occur, and here is where it gets a little bit complicated, so stick with me. On the PS5, you can choose to record the last 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, and I think 5 minutes of gameplay that occurred, and it'll automatically start recording up to an hour that you can choose to save, or you just leave it alone, it'll just replace it with another hour, and it won't save it until you choose to save it. Now the problem with that is whether you choose to do the 1 hour recording or choose to make your own recording, start your own recording, you can't record your gameplay in 4K as a MP4 file. It saves it as like a WebM file. So what that means is for someone like me who's an Apple user, if I open those files on my Mac from a flash drive that I copied it to, it opens it up in a Google Chrome website and I can't download it from there. If I put it into my iPad, it doesn't allow me to open it at all. It just shows like the file name and that's it. You may know from a previous video I may have made about this, I use a flash drive that switches from USB-C to USB-A, so I can go from console to iPad and back and forth. And I can't open those files. I would have to record them in 1080p to be able to have it as an MP4. That's a problem when you have a 4K console and you want to record your footage in 4K. It's hard to see how some of these games really realistically how they look on YouTube when they're recording in 4K unless you have like a PC and a capture card and all that stuff built in. The other solution to that would be you can have your captures automatically upload to the PlayStation app, but there's two problems with that. Number one, the console has to be online for it to upload completely. The second thing is it could potentially take forever. I've had captures that were only about 15 seconds long. It took a couple of days for them to be uploaded, and I would think at that point when you're done gaming, you got to keep your console on for a little while for it to upload. That could be a problem when I'm looking to do either a let's play of, God of War, for example, and have 30-minute, hour-long videos, or if I'm trying to make the review of it, which I am going to make when it comes out, it could be a problem trying to upload those captures to the app. The second problem with the PlayStation app is you can only download 4 captures at a time to your device, whether it's screenshot or videos. You can't just select multiple and download all of them. It has to be maximum 4. That needs to be fixed soon because it's a crazy thing to think that that's how it has to perform. With the Xbox side, you can only capture up to an hour of gameplay if you have a storage option for that capture. I do have a flash drive here somewhere that I was using. There it is. As I mentioned before, my USB-A to USB-C flash drive, so I do plug it into the Xbox by USB-A, And when I have those captures automatically into my USB, I just flip it around, put it in my iPad, and just export them to the iPad. So yes, you do need something like this or an external hard drive to capture an hour-long gameplay, but you at least get to record video in 4K. Not only that, but other captures, if you don't have one of these and you do capture some footage or screenshots, you can upload them to OneDrive as long as you have enough OneDrive space to do it, and then you can download as many of those as you want from OneDrive into your device. So that is where the differences occur. They're both not perfect functions. They both have their pros and cons, as I mentioned before. Sony side does have the share factory to edit your videos on the PlayStation if you want to, if you're not someone who has a computer or editing device on your computer. Like I said, I use Apple, so I have iMovie, so I'm covered in that aspect. I'm all good there. Now, in terms of Twitch streaming or YouTube streaming, the only thing I'm going to talk about here is on the PlayStation, you would need the PlayStation camera, which is about $60 or so. And it does have some included features like removing the background, connectivity with the green screen and that kind of customization, as well as changing the size of your window. Instead of having a square, you can have like a weird shape or something. But I've heard some mixed reviews on the PlayStation camera. On the Xbox side, you could use any kind of webcam. I have a Logitech webcam that I've had for a number of years since college, 1080p. I use it for my, video calls or my digital interviews for jobs, and you can use it for this, for Twitch. And I've tested it with Call of Duty. It works, so that's a plus on that side with the camera. You can use any webcam for the Xbox, not for the PlayStation. Now, moving on to the next topic here is the controller. Now, it's no surprise, everyone knows the PlayStation controller does have specific features that the Xbox controller doesn't have. You got the lights, the touch bar, the adaptive triggers, the much better vibration to help you get a feel of what you're playing in the game. But I gotta be honest, even though there is also a built-in mic, before I continue, yes, a built-in mic is in there as well that you can mute on and off. But I gotta be honest, the controller is a bit uncomfortable. I'm still getting used to it. I play a lot of Spider-Man since the game came out on the PS4 and I had the Spider-Man PS4 Pro. I'm really good at Spider-Man. I'm not doing so good with this controller on Spider-Man. I'm getting my ass kicked. The Xbox controller, while mostly the same design from the previous one, it works. It's comfortable. It feels good. The D-pad, while it may be a bit noisy at times, depending on what you're playing, it feels good. It's comfortable. I can use it. It's just that the PS5 one is a little bit thicker, and just the buttons are, trying to get used to those buttons, especially with the triggers. I was playing Gran Turismo, and I was using the L2 to brake, and I couldn't even press it all the way down because it was blocking me because of the car and everything. And once the race was over, it released a lock, so to speak, and I was able to, stop and everything. So, yes, there's a lot of things here that is cool about this controller. It's just not that comfortable for me. You may be very comfortable if you only have this console and you've been playing this for 2 years. If you got it at release and you've been playing with this for 2 years, you're gonna be comfortable with it. So this does take some time. Granted, the thing I do love about the Xbox controllers is they do have more options for colors, and in my opinion, some better colors. I don't like the cosmic red on the PS5. I like this red a lot better. They do have a nice blue for the PS5, but the Xbox does have a typical standard like royal blue color, and of course you have the standard black one. But you also have the design factory, or whatever they're calling it, where you can design your own Xbox controller, and it won't cost that much more than buying a brand new controller. I think PlayStation should do something similar. Let us customize our controllers. I want to get a better red. I want like a black and red thing. So they don't have that for PlayStation, but it's whatever your preference is. Also, the Xbox controllers are a bit cheaper from my understanding. I think you can get them for about $60, in some cases even a little bit cheaper. This is like $75 for a controller, which is why I only have one. I just got this like a week ago. I only got one, so I may not get another one down the road. In terms of a stand, they do have their own stand. PS5 has one included that you can attach for either, you want to have it standing up or laying down. The Xbox has one on the bottom to stand it up, and then for the side, there is little feet bubbles that you can, that's already attached to it, and you can lay it down. So I don't like the PS5 how it looks laying down. I do prefer standing up, so at least you have that included, which is great. In terms of charging the controllers, I want to go back to this part real quick. I'm tired of these videos, these jokes that I've seen, where you got to recharge your PS5 controller. You just plug it in. For your Xbox controller, when your battery dies, you got to take the batteries out. The dumbest videos I've ever seen, because these do have USB-C capability. You can plug this shit in and it will still play. It won't charge your controllers unless you have one of these battery packs that, you know, the charge and play kits or whatever. So I'm tired of that joke. It's really stupid. You can plug this in. The only problem, however, was this doesn't come with a USB-C cable, and this one does. So if you are using an updated smartphone, like an Android phone, you will have a USB-C cable anyway. I mean, I have endless USB-C cables from my times using Android. I've been using USB-C since like it was first a thing back in like 2015, 16 when the Moto Z came out. But I got one of these kits on my Xbox. I don't know if you've seen it previously. It's a little like housing kit, and you put 2 battery packs into it. It'll charge it. It plugs right into the Xbox. I don't have to remove it or anything. It stays there. And I can charge 2 of those battery packs at a time. I have a third one that I grabbed from GameStop for like $10, so I can at least keep one on standby if I'm charging 2 of them. I get it. It's a bit extra that you have to do for these controllers to charge, but you can still plug them in and use them wired anyway. So keep that in mind. Now, expandable storage. I do have an expandable storage card delivering today for the PS5. You may have known about this already. The SSD, you just take off the top and you install it. Here's my pro and con to that. The pro is it's not gonna bother you because it's inside the cover. You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna worry about damaging it. But to remove it and I guess bring it somewhere else, I don't know if it's gonna have to format or not. That's gonna be a pain. Xbox does have the card, and it's funny because back in PS2 days and PS1 days, we had memory cards that look similar to this. So it's funny that Sony didn't go with that option. Now, supposedly these are able to transfer from Xbox to Xbox without having to delete or install. You can play your games on a friend's Xbox with this. I haven't tested it out, but that's what I heard so far. Now, they're both very expensive. I believe the Xbox One I paid over $200 for it, and that's a 1 terabyte. For the PlayStation one that I got, I did order a 1 terabyte because it was on sale for 100 and something as compared to 200, and the 2 terabyte was on sale for $250, $240 as compared to the normal $400 plus. Now, the reason why I went with the 1 terabyte on this one and not the 2 terabyte, and I had a conversation with my friend, the Film Cubano, he wants to go for a 2 terabyte. But that's because he doesn't have an Xbox, so he's playing more games than I am. My PS5 is only for my exclusives. I have 35 games on my Xbox from Game Pass and physical games that I've installed. Not many exclusives on the Xbox installed. I'll get into that in a bit. But if I can fit 35 games, and some games are over 100 gigabytes, I should be fine with the 1 terabyte expansion for only exclusive games. And I still have an external hard drive for my PS4 exclusive games. So I'm all set for that one. And I do think that if games are going to be larger in download size, we need a larger internal hard drive for these consoles. The Switch OLED does have the upgraded 64 gigabyte, but that's still nothing. When you can just buy like a micro card and put it in. So talking about the games, yes, this can be a bit of a problem for those who want to play games. That's the point of these consoles, to play games. Xbox doesn't really have exclusives. And you could say that they have the Bethesda games and the Activision Blizzard games. You can still buy them on PlayStation. It's not like they bought those companies and said, okay, everything for the other consoles are removed from stores and removed from the digital stores. No, you can still download these games and buy them physically. It's the future Bethesda and Activision games that won't be exclusive. That will be exclusive for Xbox and not on PlayStation. There is that whole war about Call of Duty and all that, but that's more so for the next generation gamer, because Call of Duty, I think, will be exclusive to Xbox after 3 years. Okay, I'm 30 years old and I don't have a lot of time to play games because of full-time job and adult responsibilities. My other friend, Frankie, I haven't seen him play online in a while because adult man, full-time job. He's married, so we have our responsibilities. So this is more of a problem for those next-gen gamers who can't play Call of Duty on PlayStation. And I understand that mindset of, you want to play Call of Duty on PlayStation. You have 3 years to get an Xbox, and if it's exclusive to Xbox, it's going to be on Game Pass. You can get the Series S for cheaper. That's my opinion on the matter. But when it comes to these games, I did a video about this previously before I bought the PS5, and it was that Xbox had 3 main exclusives at release, which was, or within release window and a few months after or however long, Flight Simulator, Halo Infinite, and Forza Horizon 5. And Halo Infinite wasn't that good for me anyway, but I won't get into that. But the PlayStation had a lot more exclusives. It had Demon's Souls, Ratchet & Clank, Miles Morales, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Astro's Playroom was built in. And even 2 years later, we got Horizon Forbidden West, we got Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima got the PS5 release, Final Fantasy VII got the PS5 release, we got Kena, we got Last of Us that came out this month, God of War comes out in November, Spider-Man 2 is coming out next year, Wolverine is coming out a few years down the road. So with Xbox, they have mentioned previously in like E3s and stuff like that, they have a lot of developers planning to make exclusives, but they're primarily indie games from my understanding. Not saying indie games are bad, but I want to get AAA exclusive experiences, and that's what the Xbox is honestly lacking, to be honest. But you still get those upgraded Series X visuals. Like the newest games that I'm playing for the Series X right now is, I mean, I have Valhalla and I haven't played it yet, but it's, newer. WWE 2K is my newest game in terms of like next gen that I've been playing. Gotham Knights is supposed to be next gen only, so I am gonna pick that up for the Xbox because it's not exclusive, so I'm playing it on Xbox. There's not really Far Cry 6 I'm playing that's like new next gen, but it's Ubisoft. I have so many Ubisoft games, it's not even funny. Like, I think most of my Xbox collection was Ubisoft physically. But yes, when it comes to games, PlayStation will have more options to play that is exclusive, plus all the third-party games you can play. And they do have their subscription now, the Plus subscription, which is similar to Game Pass, but there's 3 tiers on this one, whereas Game Pass is just 1 tier. I cannot compare the two because I only have the second tier of the PlayStation version. And while you do have, first-party games and third-party games included, and in the extra tier, I believe the premium does have some classic games. There's not much, but there's some classic games. I still got to give it to Game Pass. I do like Game Pass a lot better, especially because with the PlayStation plan, if you're playing like a PS1 or a PS3 game, you have to stream it. You can't download it. Whereas Game Pass, they have games from Xbox 360 and Xbox One and Series X. You can download all of them on the Xbox. And so Game Pass does get the win in that one. Like I said, I'm not trying to do a who win, who loses. They both have their pros and their cons, okay? Now, the final thing I want to talk about is the design of these consoles. Now, I've never been a fan of either of these designs, okay? You have the refrigerator design and the Seto Kaiba jacket, okay? And I like Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Seto Kaiba, but this part right here, I always feel like the digital version looked a lot better without this hump right here. But the Xbox One is, while it's thicker, it's smaller and it's square, so you do have a better option to carry this around with you. You can buy a carrying case for this from Best Buy for $50. I had one for the Series S that was perfect. It holds both controllers, holds the console, perfect. There's one for this for $50, which I may or may not pick up. But you can also put it in the backpack. I have a backpack that, while these two both fit in, this one fits in the backpack a lot better. So I do like the design of the Xbox better, only because it's much more, it's easier to carry around the Xbox, and it's not as heavy and big as the PlayStation. Look at the size comparison. Like, it's ridiculous. And you don't have to worry about maybe removing the stand to not break it or something. This one you just put it in the bag, put the controllers in, you're good to go. So that's kind of where my comparison ends here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I put some perspective on you guys for what is, the options you have here. If you care about capturing gameplay, like I said, it's kind of a tie, because this one does have a better function to capture gameplay without needing any extra hard drive, but this one does have a better format to record the gameplay and a better way to upload it and download it to your devices. And like I said, controllers, it's personal preference. I like the feel of the Xbox One a lot better, but I also like some of the features for the PlayStation controller. That's pretty cool. And of course, the gaming, If you don't care about exclusives, you just want to play games online with your friends, then of course, you know, especially when Call of Duty does become exclusive to Xbox fully, Game Pass, Call of Duty. Like, I love playing Warzone. I used to play Warzone with my friends all the time. That was a lot of fun. This video has been going on for long enough, so thank you guys for watching this video, for staying with me. Let's keep pushing on the road. I'm getting back into the swing of things, as you've already seen. Let's get into the 400 subscribers. We're a bit away, but we're getting there. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one.